Christmas trip. We're getting a bit of winter sun in the new year. I'm assuming we're going to be allowed to do that. And if you're taking your kids, they too may now have to submit to vaccine passports. It was missed in all of this tidal wave of news over the past 24 hours that Health Secretary Sajid Javid announced he was expanding the scheme, which originally was only available for those aged 15 or 16 or over, but he's expanded it to 12 to 15-year-olds.
From today, I can confirm that the NHS COVID Pass is being rolled out to 12 and 15-year-olds for international travel, allowing even more people to be able to prove their vaccine status for travel where it is needed.
The move was in a response to a number of countries across the world requiring proof of COVID vaccination from youngsters to access certain venues or pass through borders. From today, New York, a popular destination for travellers during the festive season, will ask children as young as 5 to provide proof they have received at least one dose in order to access venues such as theatres, restaurants and museums. Italy, Austria, France and Canada are among the other countries with similar requirements. Spain, meanwhile, requires over 12s to show proof they are double vaccinated, while Malta and Germany are also only letting in fully vaccinated teens. While some travellers may welcome the change for saving their holidays, other notable figures have expressed outrage, including the brilliant Star Daily Telegraph columnist Alison Pearson. She tweeted, "This is repugnant. Coercion for vaccination is a breach of human rights. Sajid Javid just said goodbye to being Tory leader." And Bernie Spofforth, who has been fighting Twitter's attempts to censor her views on COVID, pointed out many parents who have complied themselves are cautious about their children. Unless they give in, their children can no longer go on holiday. This is not freedom, it's tyranny. So, Calvin Robinson, has the government saved Christmas holidays or just ramped up the pressure for young people to get jabbed?
They've ramped up the pressure, and this is tyranny, this is coercion. I love Alison Pearson and Bernie, by the way, both fantastic at fighting the good fight on this. But children, I mean, I don't want to use hyperbole, but this is wicked, this is evil. Children don't need the vaccine. They're more at risk from the vaccine than from the virus itself. Countries like Japan are now putting warning labels on the vaccine saying, young people are at risk of myocarditis. It's actually... It is abhorrent that we're saying that young people should have the vaccine in order to travel. I'm lost for words for once.
Rebecca Reid, do you think this is evil?
I mean, this isn't our call. This is the decision of... So Canada have said, if you would like to come in and you are a child, you must be vaccinated if you are over the age of whatever it is. All that Sajid Javid, not sure why I'm defending him, I'm not a fan, but all that he's done is made it that if you were already going to Canada, it's easier to prove if you have already been vaccinated. And I think individual countries have the right to decide what their individual rules are for who can come in and who can't. I think we generally agree with that on other things. I don't personally think children need to be vaccinated. I wouldn't personally vaccinate my children yet until I understood what the long-term repercussions for that would be.
Which means you couldn't take them on holiday?
I mean, if I can't take my kids to Canada, I'll probably not die. If I can't go to Spain, I'll probably be OK.
Because the international community should decide this as a whole, because the Human Rights Act is something that is bigger than just our country.
But when is that? I mean, so
the
rarely.
The Nuremberg Code, for example, is something that's bigger than our country. All of these things are bigger than just us saying, OK, if you want to come in.
I find international consensus is incredibly hard to achieve. Canada has a very different attitude towards things. Spain, we have national characteristics. We have national identities, and I think getting everybody to agree on something is very, very difficult.
They've already agreed that medical coercion is wrong and illegal.
This is a growing list as well. I mean, 5-year-olds going to New York. 5.
No.
Well, think, if you're the parent of a young New York child, you can't take them to the theatre if they don't have the vaccination at 5 years old.
They have to show the vaccine papers. And what about school? If they're not vaccinated, are they banned?
I've spoken to Megyn Kelly. I've spoken to Megyn Kelly quite a lot about this. You can go to school, but you're excluded from a lot of activities like sport and amateur theatre and all of that sort of thing.
What society are we creating for children? The division. That we know children bully each other in any case. I mean, the division and the hatred this is going to create in little kids already.
I think it's difficult, though, because if we were talking about the measles vaccine, I would be saying, absolutely, I would never have an unvaccinated child who hadn't had the measles vaccine in my home around my children. So it's only because I understand the fear that I'm agreeing with you guys.
But we've never been like that with any other vaccine. And where is the science? What science are we following on this? Where is the proof that children of that age are in danger, as Calvin said, from getting very ill, in danger of being super spreaders. None of
Well,
these
they're the guinea pigs. They're the guinea
Your
pigs.
stance on vaccines as well, Rebecca, because would you question when I know your kid isn't at that age yet, but if you had a child that it was at the age of having a birthday party, would you ask the parents of those children that you're inviting which vaccines they've had before you invited them to your home?
I think
or would you
history.
consider that your child has had the vaccine, therefore is protected from these things?
I think at that stage, if you're having a 5th birthday party, you generally know your group well enough to have sensed what people's vaccine things are, and generally amongst your friends. You
assumption.
get an
How
idea of it.
horrible.
I would be very surprised.
But
if
how
somebody
horrible. It's
wasn't.
no one's business. I keep reading these articles in the left-wing
it
press.
isn't.
One in The Guardian talking about the misery of Christmas, because how do you cope if you have someone unvaccinated around the table?
I am never, ever going to question people on their medical history.
No way.
To do
But I think-
anything social with them.
But I think
appalling.
on a private level, if you're having a party at your house, I've got lots of friends who've said, I'm having a party and only vaccinated people are welcome to come.
Oh,
That's their choice.
God.
That is their choice. It is their house. It is their choice. It is their guest list. That is up to them. Would I do that? Personally, no.
I
That
find
it's
that
their
They
house.
wouldn't be my
So
friends. I'm sorry.
But that's the great
horrific.
thing about a free society. I can say anybody who thinks purple is a good colour can't come to my house.
We do think
Purple's
some
the worst
forms of
colour.
discrimination are not okay, though, don't we?
Well, I mean, so I think we all agree on that, don't we? Like, presumably,
But
we all,
how is it
where's
different?
the line is the different thing.
Because you are discriminating. I mean, look, the one thing I would say 100%, my house is open to my friends and family and colleagues and loved ones, regardless of their
course,
vaccination
absolutely.
status. And I think the people who put these terrible restrictions on their own lives are actually pretty disgusting.
But it's their choice. That is just their choice.
You know what? It's.
But would you be saying that, Becca? Sorry to interrupt, Dawn, but would you be saying that, Becca, if it was, don't come round to my house if you voted for Brexit?
I mean, I definitely have friends. Again, I don't feel that way, but I definitely have friends who say, "I don't want to socialise you if you believe that about Brexit." I have
This is
friends.
the tyranny of the left, isn't
I have
it,
friends,
Dawn?
but I also have
It's
friends
the
who say,
tyranny of the left.
if you're going to do cocaine at my house, please don't come over. Like, different people have different lines, and you're allowed to find
one's
lines.
breaking an actual law of the land.
Yeah,
the
that's
other
quite
isn't.
different.
I mean, it's like, but I mean, it's just. I can't understand the mentality of discriminating on that
and
level.
it feels like we want, or certain segments of society want to create division. They did it with Brexit, and now they're doing it with your vaccination status, and I think it's wrong.